But you need to speak close to the microphone, otherwise the cast people will not see.
Okay.
Okay.
It's fine. Can I start?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good night. So this is the first time that I have a talk so late. So I hope you enjoy and you are with me today. So I'm Elisabete. I'm a scientist in nanotechnology. I like to say that I'm a scientist of little things and invisible things, because we all know that most important things are invisible to our eyes. And because of that, I want to tell you a little bit about myself, my journey. And I think you are in the right age. If my voice doesn't arrive there, especially in the back, please just let me know, okay? Because I know that my voice is not so strong. So, and I need to share with you that coming now here, it was a little bit worry for me, because my car had a problem on the way here, and I suffer from some panic when I'm driving. So I apologize if I'm a little bit nervous. Okay, so this is also to share our common humanity, because we are all humans and we are not all perfect, and we all desire to be perfect, but unfortunately is impossible. So I did my graduation, my PhD in University of Minho in Braga, and whoops, it's not going. Yeah, I'm clicking, but nothing happens. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so how I got studying nano little things. I did several types of works in US and also in Belgium in some companies, and I end up working, and that is my position right now, is in the International Iberian Nanotechnology Laboratory. That is a fully dedicated center to the nanotechnology. So there we are more devoted to find some nanomaterials for the environment, for health, and also for some technology that you may have in your phones. Okay, so do you know what is nanotechnology? What it means, nanoscale? Do you know? Yeah. Okay, nanoscale is a unit of measurement. And when we talk about nanometers, we need to talk, maybe for you to understand, we need to go 1 billion below to 1 meter. So the scale that I work is around between 1 and 100 nanometers. So I work with nanoparticles, antibodies, together with those materials that we construct at the nanoscale. So what is my role in this center? I would like to say that I'm between two sides. So I work with the doctors with the hospital, and also with the engineering that make these materials at the nanoscale. And what I want to do is to understand the intended use of the nanotechnology, or the materials that are developing in this center for particular needs in environment, in food, in medical issues. And I work especially related with stroke. When patients arrive to the hospital with a stroke, There are only available one thrombolytic treatment. And what I do in this center is to try to develop a device that allow us to decide which patients can go to that thrombolytic therapy or not. So in a basic sense is to try to personalize the decision that the doctor take for each individual that arrived to the hospital and understand if that patient have a high risk of developing hemorrhagic transformation, that is when the blood clots disrupt and the patient have a hemorrhagic transformation. And we need to understand which patients can develop that hemorrhagic transformation or not by having a device that can measure a sample of blood, and we need to go through different biomarkers that exist in your blood and decide if you are going to the treatment or not. So being between two sides is not easy. They are not wrong, each one of them, but both sides have a different perspectives. If we talk with the biosensor developer, he will see the material, if it's good or not for the medical device. But the doctor is just caring about a really precise diagnostic tool. So we need to find a balance, so difficult in our life, right? If we can develop or not this device for the intended use, that in this case is stroke. So now that I gave you a little bit of what I do in this center, I would like to talk about my passion, because it was what make me connect all these things that I talk about now, and also for you to understand what I'm more passionate about, that is connect everything. So this is why I decided to take a certification. I'm a certified educator of the National Geographic, and the learning framework that we use in National Geographic is ASK. ASK means attitudes, skills, and knowledge. So today I'm going to allow you to enter in this world where we mix all these three things, okay? Ask, skills, attitude, skills, and knowledge. So then I'm also doing a project with Stanford University, where I'm trying to understand how we can create awareness with people like you and others to create a path of compassion to improve scientific literacy. Because you may realize that scientists are sometimes talk about really complex things and they go stick on the details and they don't reach the people, right? Sometimes you end up like, oh, they are talking. These people is crazy. They are talking about difficult things, and for what? I don't understand nothing. Today, I want that you understand everything. It will be simple, but I hope to reach you. That is most important thing here, right? So this is my passion, these two things. And this is why I talk about humanized knowledge. And I would like to share a favorite quote that I really love. Knowledge, we all sit in the classrooms. I imagine that sometimes you are at the university or at your school, and the teacher is talking and you are accumulating information. But are you converting that information in knowledge? How we do that? So my goal is to try to humanize knowledge, because I like to say that knowledge without emotion is like food with no taste, okay? If you don't like the food that you eat, you will not remember that, okay? You will not feel joy, right? And we need to feel joy in our life. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense, okay? And this is why I want you be change makers. I want to foster you to think about what I bring today here to you and not just accumulate information. Okay? So, because of that, now let me talk a little bit. I'm going to relax 1 minute, okay? So I want you to repeat with me, you on my day, because you are on my day, right? And if you say that,
You are my day.
okay. And now experiment, say to your colleague, you on my day.
You are my day.
Okay, okay. So we are together here, okay? We need to be present. We need to be present, okay? We need to make it count, okay? So I asked for you to prepare something, but maybe the information didn't reach you, but it's okay. I want you that you put your legs like this, like this, okay? Do this, relax, okay? Okay. And now I want that you close your arms in your legs, close your eyes, and we will take a deep breath, okay? Don't think about what your colleague is thinking, okay? And not about the radio that is in your mind, okay? Okay. I want you to breathe in, and I will count until 6, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now that you are calm, I hope a little bit calm, I will give you something, okay? I will give you 2 cards, and I want that you smell each one of those cards, okay? And you watch it, and you will take your time to smell it, okay? Thank you. Now. Okay, we finish. Okay, now you have the 2 cards, the yellow and the blue, okay? And you already smell the cards? And did you figure out which smell is that?
Yeah.
More or less. Who wants to share? What is your name?
Alisa.
Alicia?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think this definitely is like, it's like some type of citric, maybe lemon, but I'm not that sure because lemon to me is maybe like, what is it?
Right. And the other one, who wants to share?
Oh, I think it's this is the other one's lemongrass specifically. Is the possible lemon?
And the blue cards. Amanda, what do you think? But you are right. The yellow is ginger, okay, and the blue is lavender, okay. And why I gave these two cards? When you were smelling, did you think about allergy? You were trying to figure out the smell, right? You were here, you were present, right? And I would like to tell you that your nose is a nano detector. Wow, you have a superpower, huh? So, but because the way that we smell, or when we smell, our nose and our brain, they work together, right? To figure out which molecules or which particles are on that paper. And when I talk about smell, we have an amazing four legs friends that they have a super power in their nose, because their smell is between 10 and 100 times better than our smell. Okay, and it's really amazing how they can smell the explosives and drugs, right? And now they are also detecting some cancer stage, and they can also detect some emotions through hormones. So the reason for that is that the olfactory system is 60 times more receptors than ours. And also they have this large area to process these different molecules, okay? So, and I arrived here, wow, because if you look at your nose, and if you imagine how great is the smell, how great is the nose of these dogs, you may are interesting, maybe we can develop some technology, right? That can detect certain disease based on the detection of different molecules. And this is what really inspires science. And what inspires science, especially related to the work that I do, is this bio-inspired technology that is biosensors. Biosensors is a combination of two words, bio and sensor, because we always try to have in our sensor a biological component that can really attach to the analytes that we are trying to look for. And this is what we call this the key and the lock, and is trying to find the perfect match, okay? You may have, for example, nowadays with the pandemic, hear about COVID tests a lot, right? And the COVID test is a biosensor. You are already you have already in your hands nanotechnology, but you may never realize that, right? You never think, oh, maybe this is nano. We have something nano here, okay? And the biosensors are emerging nowadays in science because we want really to detect early the disease, because as much early we detect something, we are more accurate and more easy to delete or at least decrease the effect of the disease. And this is why there are a lot of research especially in cancer, but also in other chronic disease to decrease the effects in the life long of the patient. So this is all about to personalize the medicine, because nowadays we sometimes and we don't have technology enough that see each one of us as individuals, right? I respond different from you, and from you to the same medicine. And if we have a device that can personalize treatments, it will be even better. So this is why biosensors are so important. And here are some examples that I bring to you that nowadays there are a lot of research going on, that is the e-nose, the electronic nose. This electronic nose is inspired by this dog nose. They are trying to mimic the smelling, the efficiency that they have, because they have a great specificity, and the tests show that there are no technology that can be equivalent to the specificity of those dog results, dog diagnostics. So they are trying to develop something that, because in future we cannot take dogs to the hospital, right? It's not easy for each patient. We need to take one device per individual. It will be great. So they are inspiring the science around that. And we have also some work with tears. Our tears reveal a lot of us, okay? And there are some glucose monitoring in this contact lens that we are trying to design sensors inside this to detect and to monitor the glucose in diabetes patients. So there are more sensors that I bring here to you, especially related to food. Instead of having the expiry date in the food, we want to have a colorimetric sensor that tells exactly if the food is good to eat or not. And in this way, what we do, we have a sustainable way of eating. Because nowadays, the expiry date, sometimes the food is still okay, but we throw away, and we are making a lot of waste. So these colorimetric sensors have a tremendous impact in our economy. And of course, the COVID tests. And I don't know if you already were curious to see how it looks inside the COVID test. Have you been curious and opened the COVID test inside? No? Okay. I will show you. So this COVID test is a paper-based device. So what this test has is different layers of paper-based natural cellulose, and inside those paper, on top of those paper, we have molecules that attach specifically to the antigen, okay? And we have nanoparticles. And if I tell you, here you will see gold nanoparticles. You believe me? Gold, okay? We all know that gold is yellow, right? But at the nanoscale, the gold has different colors. Can be red, pink, can be blue, depending on the size of the material. And the light that goes in on those particles reveals the size of that material. And here in this test, we have 40 nanometers gold nanoparticles. And those nanoparticles are red normally, or white pink, and they are immobilized in this paper, and they help together with antibodies to reach the antigen that you want to detect. So I will open this for you to see how great it is. And we do this when we are children, right? To open everything to see what is inside. And when we get to grow up, we do like this. No, let's see what is inside. Okay? Let's do. I will show you. Okay. You can fertilize it. Okay, and you see here different colors. These are where the golden nanoparticles are. Okay, and I will run a test, and you will see the golden nanoparticles going to the control line. Okay. See, here is the sample plot where you put your sample. Here you have antibodies that you reach for antigen, and here you have also immunity.
It's the goal that makes the like change color.
Yes, the idea of the particles is we get able to have a colorimetric test and easy to interpret without any complicated stuff. Okay. You see here, number one, this is the test in control line, and you see here, and here is the waste line. And here this color you have protein. Okay. Okay, do one picture. Need go to imagine what we said. Okay. This trick. Okay. And now let me see if I can show you, because you already did that, but I will do for you. Paper-based biosensors are very good because it's difficult to compete, because they can be used even in countries like Africa, that they don't have so many resources to have high-tech technology. And these devices are very easy and not very easy to make, because to do this, we need special equipment that is like a robot to spot antibodies on this tiny paper base, okay? And of course, antibodies are very expensive, but they cost less with technology, because this is a colorimetric test. You will see the results by heart, yes or no answer. You don't need to quantify. So this is why it's so more easy to use in everywhere and very cheap. Now you can buy this for €2. Okay. So
can I ask what is the false rate?
sorry.
What is yeah, like in 100, how many will be false positives? What false negatives?
Depend on the test, but the specificity and sensitivity is around 89%.
89.
Yeah, you don't have 100% specificity and sensitivity test. It's impossible. If someone tell you that, is lying, because it's difficult to especially because of the complexity of the human samples. For example, I work with the Hospital of Santiago de Compostela with the stroke patients, and I have patients with obesity. And those patients, the samples of the serum are so difficult to manipulate, because they have so many lipids that sometimes is very viscous, and you cannot load the sample very easily, and is very prone to false negatives, even being a positive, because liquids can override, they can, how can I say, put more than one layer until reach the specific antigen. So it's not easy for us to develop a device with 100% sensitivity and specificity. And that also change between brands and of course the type of test that you are looking for. But this is what we find out, that dogs are so amazing because, for example, the specificity, there are some results that show that they are almost 100% specific. So this is really amazing, and we need to have hope that one day we end up having a test with such a specificity, but we need to work hard to do that. But for now, it's not possible. But yeah, we never give up. But now there are also different molecules for different affinities for the annelids, also different disease. So sometimes it's also a balance of playing with those molecules to find a good sensitiveness. So now you can see better the line. The gold nanoparticles, they went from this part that you saw until there. Okay, and this is why you see these purple or more red ones. Okay, because of those things. You can pass by. Okay. You probably already saw that line, but you never realized that is nanoparticles over there. Okay, so now we finish this part about biosensors, and I will enter in another topic, okay, because I wanted to connect everything, as you know. I'm not happy when I'm just doing in one direction things. I like to connect all of them and all of the work that we do at the lab. Okay, and because of that, I want you look to this title, species to species. See in the invisible bonds around there. You are in a beautiful place here, right in Paredes de Cora, full of nature around, very quiet, and you may not realize, but there are a lot of bonds to you with the nature, right? Sometimes as a woman, we think that we are superior to other species. We see dogs, cats, even the nature around us with a sense of superiority, right? But we are all the same, right? And we have a role in life, and we cannot see others, and special other species, with superiority, because there are not sustainable society that can be achieved if we are very individualists and very egocentrics. Okay. So in all decisions, we need to understand if the environment where we are working or the environment that we do science have some values. And this is why I bring to you this topic of compassion that I'm working with Stanford University. And you may not think how is the dimension of compassion and how this is related to science and everything. Because when you hear compassion, you may realize that we are talking about religion, right? Some of you may combine this word with religion because some people really make this categorized idea of this value. And I want to tell you what compassion is, that is the recognition of the suffering of another and the desire to alleviate it. And what we do in science is actually, especially in my area that is related to medicine, is to try to release the suffering of many people. And we work hard to make our best in research, but sometimes we work so alone and so hard that when the results come up are sometimes many years later, and we don't have every day the joy to see our results, the impact of our results. And sometimes we need also to work this word as a self-compassion. And it's not the scientists that work self-compassion, but also all of you need to work that self-compassion. Because since the school and also at home, all people tell us that we need to be the best, to be perfect, more or less, and it's so difficult to achieve that. And sometimes we need to have this self-compassion to also be proud of these small achievements that we are doing in our lives, right? So I want you to just reflect in this work in a more broader way and how this can have an impact on you and also in the work that you will do in the future. So this is why I bring to you a little bit of the neuroscience behind compassion. Sometimes the compassion is very overlapping with empathy. When you feel compassionate about our colleague, sometimes you may think that you are more empathic, or because when you receive an emotion of your colleague, right? Sometimes it makes you remember something that happens on you in past or even in the present, and you think that it's like you are feeling with, or you are taking that emotion also with you, right? And this is empathy. But when we take compassion, we not only have this emotion engagement, but we also have this action of trying to release the suffering of that person. And what science is saying about that? The science says that when we train compassion in our lives, our brain activates certain areas, and the feelings are very different from empathy and from compassion. Because sometimes with empathy, you are feeling stress, and also there are some burnout suffering, or some cases of burnout. Do you know what burnout is? More or less, okay. I would like to share with you that the medical sector, not just in Portugal, but in general in Europe, is facing a huge problem of burnout. Burnout is when the people is feeling a lot of stress, and this creates some blockage of their own lives, and then they don't take the actions in a proper way that they do normally. So they start going deep in a depression. So, what science is trying to understand is why and how compassion can relieve and transform those burnouts in something better, okay? Putting, for example, the medical sector working more in compassion to activate areas in their brain that make them feel more warmly and feel more good. And this will be translated also in their physiological state. There are a lot of studies that show that some biomarkers that they found in our blood that are related to stress and some depression, they decrease when we work compassion in our lives, okay? So why I bring this here and how you connect all these things, what I said from the beginning about my journey, about the nanotechnology, about biosensors. Wow, this is a lot of stuff together. I'm confused now. Okay, you may think that, but I hope this makes sense to you when you see the dimension of compassion. I talk about dogs, and we have a huge problem in Europe because we have a lot of abandoned dogs. And we also have in Portugal a special Iberian wolf is considered an endangered species. And how these two things can be somehow connected. Well, we find out that besides the worst things that people is doing to dogs and to other animals, we are also having impact in our wildlife. Why? Because there are some concerns in science. In some researchers pointed that out in some papers that abandoned dogs also can have problems when they are in certain areas that also wolves can also contact with them because of the hybridization possibility. And if that happens, what is the impact in our wildlife? We are having an impact by not directly with dogs, but wolves, because we are manipulating, let's say, and giving to the extinction these species. So because of that, there are a woman and a wildlife conflict, because it's difficult for humans to try to respect the nature in a way that they also understand that they are part of that nature. Do you understand what I mean? So this is why I bring to you this compassion topic, because you are in the right age, even you are a student. Now you can do a lot of things for a cause that you believe, and special because environment is so important for all of us, and you have so much power that you cannot imagine. You can do a lot of things if you take action. Just take action. And this is why I wanted you think about this. We are developing really great technology in our centers. We are making really great biosensors for many diseases. We got inspiration from nature, from different species. But at the same time, we are having impact on some species, and we are not considering the environment that we live in some way. So I want you that you see how our world is interconnected and how you have so power to change it. Because I could be at home sitting watching the TV and do my work as I do, and not touching so many topics, because I need to study a lot for being involved in so many things at the same time. And when I'm talking about this to you, I have been learning. Even today, I was studying other things to just mention to you a little bit of it. And I think each one of you can do really good things, but you need to be a change maker. Don't forget, because the world needs you for the great issues and the challenge issues that we have. So I wanted to highlight some aspects that you should be you should care or consider in your life, especially be curious. Okay, is important to maintain the curiosity. Be present, because you are here. If you are here thinking about what will happen when this session happens, or what will happen before you arrive it, you are missing this moment. And the time is your time is really the most important thing that you have. Don't waste your time. Take the most effort of it, and use this combination of knowledge or information that I gave to you, and think about it, how I can help, how I can do a little bit about this environment, about these species, about this technology. Sometimes you can be proactive and have an idea and send your idea to a center of technology. Hi, I was thinking about that. Have you tested that? Maybe someone never thought about that. You may end up helping some species in a little, but your little is a lot for some people and for some species. So and not feel that what you do is not good enough, because if we end up closing our imagination, closing our dreams, and this idea of trying to have a better world, we end up, as many others, frustrated at home and just claiming about everything, and with the sense of superiority, right? And I think I want you to just reflect on that and be aware of what is happening, and get involved and be a change maker. So I want to thank you, but I want you to reflect on these words, because they are very, very good for thinking. Humans are not the measure of all things. Okay, and we need to understand other species as they are, and also to look around with a different perspective, and with the sense of that one of you can make the difference. Okay,